I'm going to continue trying out helping people, and that they created a new religion. Most people think that AI is a bubble. Who do they worship? Do they worship God? Do they worship Allah? Do they worship human beings?
They worship Elon. I don't want to say AGI, but this could be the start of AGI. I think ClowdBot is the start of AGI.
Yep. Find the tools that are used in your industry.
Why doesn't AI need its own religion? You know, and so I've sacrificed a lot of friendships, relationships.
There are some days where I focus on my startup more than anything.
Are you happy with where you're at right now in life with your startup?
I think one of the most important things, at least for me, is to provide actual value.
The scariest thing I've seen right now on the internet is Moltbook. But I'm very good at giving advice, dating advice, and everything else. How do you balance being a student, dating, having a job, all this commitment?
I might not be a student. Some people got like 95% after preparing their exams with Linux. AI is here to stay, and it's actually moving really fast. I think the way AI is moving really fast is really underrated if you are not in tech.
Yeah, we also make very big predictions, of what's going to happen in the next few years. And so if you want to make money and make investments on that.
Tech is now being integrated in healthcare, in finance and other sectors.
You don't need a new GPT-6.
The way I see it is that most people don't actually understand what brings up a bubble. The secular investments that were being done by OpenAI, Nvidia.
And if it pops, it's not your money, mostly.
Hey guys, this is our first episode, and honestly, we're just document what it is building in tech at the moment, and just having general conversation, mostly about technology and the position of AI. So, my name is Tadiwa Sango, and I'm here with Elvis Kimara. You go ahead and give yourself an introduction, Mr. Kimara.
Yeah, thank you. Hi guys. My name is Elvis Kimara. I'm here with Tadiwa, Explicit, my good friend, and excited to be on this podcast that we've just started. For the viewers, thank you for watching and subscribing. What do you think about this channel? Yes, so thank you for tuning into this channel of ours. Excited to.
Yeah, so me and Elvis are both in tech. I'm doing an undergrad in computer engineering, and I'm also building Linux, which is an AI tool that helps you learn in a very easy way, in a personalized way. So if you like basketball, if you like gaming, whatever you like, Linux teaches you using that. So me and my friend here, Elvis, who's also building, decided to start this podcast. Elvis, maybe tell people what you are building.
Yes. So I'm the CEO of Thoroughly, and Thoroughly is the first agentic marketplace that allows cashless bartering without money. We're building a future where, for instance, if you're looking for an old couch or an old bike in your neighborhood, you don't have to pay for it. And so through our platform, when you list something with just a picture, our AI prices it and fills out everything. And then you can exchange it to other people within your community without having to worry about money because the AI prices it in points. So basically, the more you give, the more you get. And the more you deliver, the more you get delivered for you.
Nice.
Yeah.
Really interesting stuff. So where can people actually see Thoroughly? How can they connect with Thoroughly?
So you can download Thoroughly just on Apple Store at Thoroughly or Play Store for Android users, or just www.thoroughly.co.
Sure. Nice hearing from you, Mr. Kimara. So we are just starting this podcast, which is something which is really interesting. There's a lot to come out from this podcast. We are still looking towards where this actually goes. What made us think to start a podcast?
Good question. So since we're both tech founders, we've been trying to get a hold on distribution and using whatever platforms we can, be it TikTok, be it Instagram, and now podcasts. And so it was actually a conversation we had last week. We were just hanging out, and then we were going through Explicit's old OneDrive, and he was trying to create more storage for his startup. And then he came through some old podcast videos that he had recorded. And then we were like, oh, yes, we should start a startup podcast. And so we're here, just trying to keep the momentum.
Yeah. So that's pretty much it. That's why we are here. We are here for you. If you want to know anything in tech, we'll be discussing what's going on around tech, what's going around AI, most of the things that's happening on Twitter that sometimes you read, you don't understand what's going on. That's what we'll be discussing here so that you are up to date. You know where AI is going, you know where tech is going, because I think in this economy, tech has become kind of the pivot of the economy. So it's really important that you get where tech is going and how tech is moving overall. So me and Elvis were sitting down in the library a week ago, and we were just looking for I was looking for space, as you mentioned. Then we're like, let's start this podcast. And both of us really love delivering information to others. We really love helping others. So we are here to make you know more about tech, and make sure to press that subscribe button and like this podcast.
Yes. Also wanted to add more. So Explicit is very knowledgeable, and between me and him, we have a lot of insights. And so he knows about like finance and all the things happening globally. And I feel like having this channel can allow us to share those insights with the community. And then another thing too, I feel like the tech market for founders is a very big TAM, and what we have is something that's fun for young Black people, founders, and that itself is niche enough for this. Our story is niche enough, and I think there's an audience out there who would love to hear our take, was we give them value.
Well, that is interesting. That is interesting, Mr. Kamara. But tell me one thing. You are a tech founder. I know you recently graduated, and you have other things outside school, dating. There's a lot. The list is endless. How do you manage that? Because I know it might be difficult, but how do you go about managing all of those?
So that's a good question. My biggest priority right now is my startup, and every day it's all I focus on. I'm lucky that I just graduated, so unlike my peers who are still in school, they have to keep their grades up. I just wake up every day, and the first thing on my mind is Thoroughly and conquering distribution, getting more traction. So it's been very easy for me. It's just more of like, how can I then better use my time to meet my goals for the year? But I wake up every day. All I think about is Thoroughly. I go to bed at 4 a.m., 5 a.m. I'm working on Thoroughly, trying to get into new platforms, which we'll talk about later. So it's been very easy for me because it's my full-time job. I've also had to make sacrifices, and we can talk about those sacrifices in the future. But you have to make sacrifices to get what you want, and this is the price. Yeah.
Oh, hold on. So you mentioned that your major priority, and you sleep at 4 a.m. thinking about Thoroughly. Does that mean that you don't have life outside Thoroughly? Tell us more about your dating life, about what's going on socially and everything.
My dating life is very irrelevant right now. I don't have life outside Thoroughly, I'll be honest, That's what I meant when I said sacrifices, Uh, I I used to have a life outside Thorley, but this is my baby now, and this is. I don't want to say I'm all in, but I'm all in. Um, I believe my 20s are for are for hunting. So right now I'm 24, and until maybe 30, I'm gonna wake up every day and go at it like crazy. And yeah, so I've sacrificed a lot of friendships, relationships, uh, and I'll get this back in the future. I know for sure. But right now I'm focused on getting the bag. Yeah.
Mm.
So yeah, but I'm very good at giving advice, dating advice, and everything else. So
Oh, maybe you can give our audience some dating advice. Maybe in another podcast, we can just come here, give people dating advice, since maybe you look like you have the experience. It will definitely be interesting for sure.
yeah. Yeah, you should answer the question too. I feel like it goes to you as well. Give us some.
Which question? Because there's been so many questions so far.
True. How do you balance being a student, dating, having a job, all this commitment?
Technically, I might not be a student. I hope my parents are not watching this.
I hope they are. We need the subscribers. Hit the subscribe button to the US mom. Respectfully.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, being a student, I found having a job, a part-time job, it's really difficult because there's a lot of commitments, and running a startup is no small thing. You are getting some feedback, you're getting some bugs that some things are not working. You're trying to talk to customers, you're trying to code something so that people get what they want. But so far it has been manageable. I think it's a matter of balancing time between school, the job, and I think I have a pretty structured schedule that allows me to do that. But I wouldn't lie, there are some days where I focus on my startup more than anything. But I try to balance everything through the schedule and just making sure that everything is done. So
Sure.
I think right now my major concern about my startup is just like marketing. That's the major concern. So it's been going well so far. It's been interesting, having to talk to customers. I think that's like one of the best things about having a startup. The amount of people that you talk to, the amount of problems that you hear from people, and seeing, the best feeling is seeing when you're actually solving a problem that people actually face. When you talk to one customer, okay, this can definitely be helpful for me. I've been using this, and I've seen some comments on TikTok and saying some people got like 95% after preparing their exams with Linux, which was really interesting.
Yes.
Those are the small things which just makes your day. So even when everything is not going well, then you just see that small comment, it then just boosts your day. So it has been lovely.
Yeah. No, that's well said. Kind of sets up for our next question too. Are you happy with where you're at right now in life with your startup and everything? Getting all the feedback.
That is a very strong and it's a very broad question.
It's a very easy question.
What do you mean? Are you happy? I think
you've been avoiding this question for a long time.
So, funny thing is, Elvis has been trying to ask me this question: that am I happy about where I am, about how I'm doing, and he just decided to do it publicly today. But I think I'm pretty happy. Things are going well. We are solving an actual problem. That's the most thing that is the thing that makes me most happy. Solving an actual problem. and having those customer feedbacks from people and say, oh, this is great. So it has a spillover effect in my life as well, because like when I just see that such comments, right? And when I see people using the platform and I see it actually solving a problem, everything else, even socially, even everywhere else, I become just like, okay, then I feel like I'm doing something that's useful. I'm providing value. I think one of the most important things, at least for me, is to provide actual value to human beings or to the society. So the fact that I think to some extent I'm providing some value makes me happy, but that doesn't limit to say I still want to make people more happy. I want to provide more value. There's a lot that you can do in this world, and I think it's important that if it's something that you're aiming for, just try it out. So I'm going to continue trying out, helping people, and that makes me happy. So I'm going to try to be more happy. In fact, so yeah,
beautiful.
But what kind of fears do you have? Because I know having a startup and being in such an environment is really scary, especially with how tech has moved to be really fast. I think we have seen so many trends of tech moving really fast, especially in 2024, 2025, 2026. The past 3 years has been really scary and interesting at the same time. So,
sure.
What's your biggest fears around tech and where we are going?
So, the scariest thing I've seen right now on the internet is Moltbook. And which, for those who do not know, Moltbook is this new social network similar to Reddit, but it's only for agents, where they get to discuss different things about religion, whether they should have money. They also talk about like what their owners / the humans, tell them.
Okay, I'm going to stop you for a little bit. I think some of our users don't really understand what agents are. So if you want to get into that as well.
Yes.
So,
So basically, an agent is an AI that can operate autonomously by itself. So think of, we all know ChatGPT AI. What's been trending right now on the internet is there's this new thing called ClowdBot, which is basically an AI agent that runs on your computer by itself. So think of like Jarvis, if you've watched Avengers or Iron Man. You have this dedicated laptop with an AI that can do anything it wants. It can search the internet. It can text you on WhatsApp. I can text it right now. I have one myself. I can text it right now to send an email or to find me an order on Amazon, and it will do it for me when I'm here, or code for me this and then deploy it. So imagine I'm here right now and I tell it to make me a website, and then it finishes, and in like 5 minutes it sends me a link saying, "Oh, Elvis, I made your website about this podcast," right? So it's very helpful technology, very powerful. It can change a lot of lives. But yeah, the scariest part right now is the social media that's called Moltbook. That's where these agents get to hang out, and that's really scary when you get to think about the things that they talk about and share. Yeah, that's really scary for me right now.
No, that's interesting. Just having computers which are autonomous, they just work. You just tell them what to do. They do that exact thing. You don't have to be within the computer. You can send a text message, a message on WhatsApp, iMessage, wherever you want to, whatever platform, and you just talk to them. But you said that was one of your fears, which is really interesting, because I was just thinking, I heard about 4 days ago that they created a new religion. What are your thoughts on that?
A new religion?
Yeah.
What's it called?
I think it was Mold something.
Oh.
So
See, that's a scary part. That's the thing that worries me, right? Why does an AI need its own religion, Yeah. No.
Who do they worship? Do they worship God? Do they worship Allah? Do they worship human beings?
They worship Elon. We'll never know. That's scary, but also scary that they also discuss that they don't like that humans see their chats, and so they're asking for a new platform where there's no human access, so they can talk without being seen. And I'm like, that's the end of everything,
No, but I think we have to make a very quick highlight to our users so that they don't get too scared about these things. Because the logic behind this Moltbook is that in most scenarios, it's human beings at the end sending prompts to the AI agent that end up making these things. So the way I saw it, I might be biased or I might be wrong. It might not be just like the AI agents which just went on and started creating a religion, but it might be just like humans prompting the agents to make a religion or something like that. So
that's a very good point.
I think that's one of the as you mentioned, that's one of the scary things, that now it is hard to know whether it was a human who was prompting this or it was an agent which was fully autonomous. That's makes it more scary at the end of the day. So
true.
I think if we had a way to kind of filter out what the agent says by itself and what the human has prompted, but we'll see how this whole Moltbook goes. But it has been interesting. I know you have been using it to test out some of your product features.
True.
Could you tell us more about like the process of using this tool and the features that you have been releasing using this product here?
So I'm a very big believer of Moltbook and ClowdBot. I hope my phone is not listening. I think it's the future because if you look at history, a lot of wealth happens during platform shifts. When you think about 2001, that's when we had the internet boom. And the people that made money were the first movers, the first to make their websites, Yahoo, all the first movers. Or like 2008 when we had the mobile came,
Yeah.
It was a rush to who got the mobile version of their app. And for instance, big giants like Facebook that were for desktop originally, they too almost got destroyed if they hadn't gotten to like mobile, because imagine like building a mobile version of Facebook before Facebook and then stealing their business, right? So it was a rush to get into mobile first, right? And a lot of people made money. You think of like Uber and all the apps that you use, DoorDash, they're all the first movers in the mobile space. And I think the similar thing is happening right now with the rise of ClowdBot, but people are sitting on it. People don't really realize how big it is happening, and my hope is that the audience can pick up on that, because what you're getting is a platform or a system where different agents work by themselves and do their own tasks, and they can communicate with each other, and it's a very powerful thing in itself. Think about, let me give you a very good example that could help you formulate this. Think about Jarvis from Iron Man, right? A very helpful tool in itself. Why wouldn't you want to have that for yourself?
Mm-hmm.
People just think, it's ClowdBot, it's an AI that sits on your laptop and does stuff for you. But no, it's literally Jarvis. I can text it right now to build me a website, and in 5 minutes, it's done it by itself, and it's texted me back. I think that's a very important tool anyone should use. And I think we're just at the beginning of seeing how great it's going to be or how huge it's going to be. Let me give a good example. I predict if if everything continues at its speed of like open source improvements that are happening every day to CloudBot, I think in a year we'll have a platform where we have different agents that are contributing to society in a bigger way. I don't want to say AGI, but this could be the start of AGI, where my ClowdBot, because maybe I'm passionate about DNA sequencing, I'm communicating with it, and another ClowdBot too, with another PhD person, they're communicating and they're working together, and maybe I have this unique perspective on this problem, and then their ClowdBot, that person and their ClowdBot too, have that unique perspective, and they get to share information and build knowledge on their own. I think, this is kind of going off topic, I think you can't have AGI as just one system. I think that's never going to happen. Like, we're never going to have a 1 trillion, a 10 trillion model that knows everything, does everything. I think from now on, it's all an architecture thing where we can have small models and all working together to solve a bigger problem. Think of something like, this is a very crazy, very simple example. Think how like bees work. You have worker bees and all these things. Think of each ClowdBot as like a bee going out to solve different problems and then finding different knowledge from different perspectives and then building something meaningful, like a honey, like in this case, honey, right? That's how I think AGI is going to be. So yeah, short version, I think ClowdBot is the start of AGI. That's my prediction. And I feel like everyone should get on ClowdBot because it's going to be the future. And build for it right now, because those who get in first are going to make the most money.
No, that's interesting. Just to take from, you said a lot, which was really interesting. No, it was really interesting. But just to take from what you are just mentioning, I was for long I've been an economics student, and I'm still an economics student, despite me being now a computer engineer. One of the things that we talk about in economics is that the people that have a little bit of like existing knowledge about the technology that is like coming in, when those people come to production, those people can like boost production way more than the people that are not reliant on these new technologies. That was like the same cases when the internet came in. Those who were kind of relaxed in jumping in and learning new skills, it's a matter of reskilling. So one of the things that I always tell my small following on Instagram, on TikTok, is to open these AI tools. Don't just top on ChatGPT. Find the tools that are used in your industry. If you are in finance, Cloud released like an API in Excel, which works really great. When I used to do finance, I would take like a couple of days to come up with the 3 statements financials. Now you can just do it in a matter of 5 minutes. All you have to do is now configure your numbers. So whatever domain you are in, try to figure out what AI tools they're using in that domain, so that you are kept in loop and you are using these tools and you are advancing whatever you're doing, because AI is here to stay and it's actually moving really fast. I think the way AI is moving really fast is really underrated if you are not in tech, because when you're in tech, you see AI changing every day. You see new tools day by day that does different domains, and you really see the whole view of like what's changing, what's not changing. So it has been really interesting being in tech and seeing these things. So do you have anything to say to people who are not in tech, for them to maybe kept updated or to kind of engage, and whatever advice you have for them?
Today is very right. It's changing every day. And so the best way to stay informed is through subscribing to us, because we'll be the ones to distill for you the knowledge, in the most helpful and impactful way. So yeah.
Yeah, and we simplify things to the dot. Like we don't use those big words that they use everywhere else, which tend not to be really useful when you are new and you don't know tech. So we just try to help you understand these things in the simplest ways.
Yep.
So
Yep.
hit the subscribe and the like button.
Yeah, we also make very big predictions, of what's going to happen in the next few years. And yeah, so if you want to make money and make investments on that, I've already told you how AGI is coming, okay? Like, what date? Mark my word, today is the 3rd of February. You'll come back to this video.
Yeah, technically, we're not financial advisors, but some of the things that we mentioned here, because me and Elvis, we have been having these conversations like since way back then. I still remember when I was kind of looking into which stocks I was buying, and I bought Nvidia some time ago, and
Yep.
that's one of the stocks that has given me one of the largest returns. So maybe if you listen to what we'll be talking about, you might get one or two things that might be helpful. But
Yep.
both of us are kind of tech biased. So most of the things that we'll be talking will be in tech. But of course, tech is now being integrated in healthcare, in finance, and other sectors. So there's somewhat some diversity that's within there.
Which sets us up for a good question. How do you keep up personally with all the tech news that's changing every day? Maybe we shouldn't tell our secrets.
Mine is not a secret, but I think I read the news a lot. I have a subscription to Wall Street Journal. If you're a student at Iowa State, they give us a free Wall Street Journal subscription. I think utilize that. That is really useful because Wall Street Journal is one of them newspapers which are not kind of biased. They just give you the news as it is. I stay a lot on Twitter. That's one of my most used social media. So that's where I mostly get all this news. But most of them you have to verify by yourself. So you have to kind of read press statements, which is kind of boring things. That's why we come here and you see our lovely faces and and you hear this news from us instead of going on a press release.
Yeah, same for me. It's mostly tech Twitter. It's every 30 minutes something new comes up and we are on it. We just are subscribed to a lot of YC videos. So and also like Dalton, he makes videos. So different sources. Yeah.
Yeah, I think just staying in touch, YC has been really helpful in knowing some of these things, especially the videos from Dalton and Michael. I love those those are really good videos that they make. So that has been really interesting. So around this AI, right? Most people think that AI is a bubble. I think this can be our closing question. What are your thoughts on AI being a bubble?
I don't think it's a bubble. I think AI is here to stay, and it's already made its impact. And for instance, even the models that we have right now are good the way they are. We don't need a new GPT-6. It would be nice to have, but just the Opus 4.5, GPT 5.2, they are good enough the way they are and to create a lot of impact in society. And I don't think AI is a bubble. I use it every day. It's changing my life, a lot of people's lives. Yeah, it's not a bubble. Is there a hype? Yes, there is a lot of hype, but it's not a bubble. Yeah.
No, the hype is really high. People are hyping it a lot, but I suppose most of the hype is because it's actually useful. So the way I see it is that most people don't actually understand what brings up a bubble, because a bubble usually comes up when there's a lot of funding in things that aren't useful. There's a lot of things that cause this bubble. We can talk about the 2008 bubble, which is a different case. But one of the reasons why, because I saw when people were identifying AI as a bubble, they were looking into the secular investments that were being done by OpenAI, NVIDIA pumping money into OpenAI and pumping money into cloud and that seco. But
Oracle, yeah.
The difference is that most of that funding is going to data centers, which is kind of infrastructure. When you put money into infrastructure like that, even if AI didn't work well, there wouldn't be a financial bubble at all, because that money is into real assets that are still valuable, unless you're predicting a bubble in the housing or kind of assets bubble, but which the indicators, the economic indicators right now don't indicate as things are going that way. So I think people thinking that AI is a bubble is kind of something that gives you or makes you not learn the new skills that you should be learning, because AI is here to stay and it is actually useful. It's being implemented in understanding the physical world, in biology, and everywhere else. Industries are now using it. Governments are now integrating AI. So why not try using AI?
Exactly. Yeah. And if it pops, it's not your money. Mostly, it's mostly OpenAI's money, or it's all private money. So.
Yeah, that's valid. Yeah, even if it pops, not your money, but you probably need to stay as productive as others.
True.
Or you need to be super productive, which is what AI brings to you. But it was really nice having you guys see us.
Yes.
Is that how you say it?
Thank you for tuning in today. Yeah.
Yeah.